What's up everybody, my name is Brock Bailey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to go over my new camera setup, the Canon Eos R. Let's get into it. Thanks again for tuning in. Today I kind of want to go over my new camera setup. I've been shooting on the Panasonic line for a long time. I went from the GH5 to the Panasonic S1. Loved both of those cameras, but I was ready to get into the Canon ecosystem for the first time and hopefully my only time for the rest of my wedding career. So I bought up two of these bad boys, two Canon EOS Rs. I fell in love with them after renting them, and I was like, hey, I need to get both of these. I need to get two cameras for my weddings going forward, and they've been absolutely amazing. I'm going to keep this video very short, easy, minimal. Don't need to go into the different kind of specs. I'm just going to give you my top 3 reasons why I switched over to Canon and kind of give you how I feel about the camera overall when it comes to wedding cinematography. So the very first reason, and obviously probably the most important reason why I switched over to this Canon EOS R system, is because of its autofocus. The dual pixel autofocus in this camera is such an amazing attribute of the camera as a whole, as a whole of Canon even, because all of Canon cameras pretty much have dual pixel autofocus these days, and it's honestly a dream. Like, when I'm in weddings, I'm not having to worry about pulling focus, and I can really just hone in on the couple's love story and know that pretty much 95% of the time they'll be in focus, and I'm not even having to do anything when it comes to pulling or having to maintain that focus, because the Canon does that for me. Another great thing about this camera is the color science. The color science, let's be honest, it's just wonderful to have. Like, straight out of camera, you can use this footage with minimal grading, and it can look good every time. And also the C-Log in this camera is incredible. It's probably one of my favorite log profiles there are in any cameras, and I've shot with Red raw log footage, I've worked with Panasonic log footage, I've worked with Sony log footage, and I just feel like this log footage is so much easier to work with. It looks so good and easy to edit and grade right out of camera, and the C-Log in 8-bit is even a dream. I know when I was shooting 8-bit vlog footage on the Panasonic, stuff would start to fall apart when I would start to really push the grade. So it's very, very nice. This is probably one of the best 8-bit codecs you can find in Canon, not just this camera, but any Canon in general, because like I said, their color is already on point, so you're not having to push too much when it comes to post. You can just really get a good image with the 8-bit codec. I know people are all into the 8-bit, 10-bit, all that crap that's out there today, but this 8-bit is really, really good for the near future. And also it does have a 10-bit option, which I can also turn to if I need to, but pretty much I'm shooting C-Log 10-bit 1080 still of this camera, and the 1080 image looks sharp, it looks great. Not having to worry about the quality of loss there. I'm not really shooting 4K unless I have to. I use that as an upsell now to my wedding packages, so if they want 4K, if they know anything about 4K, I charge them for that. But other than that, I stay in 1080 now, and I love it. So I'm going to continue to shoot in 1080 and continue to shoot in C-Log because it's such a great part of this camera. So let's get into the third reason. The third reason I like this camera is honestly the price. The price is so good. For 1,800 bucks, I got this, it was on a Black Friday sale. I think it was like 1,600, 1,650 or something like that. The price allows me to get 3 bodies for basically the price of an expensive camera there is. So I guess you get 3 of these, so basically 2 of these would be what, 3,400. Add another one, that'd be 5,100. So you can get 3 bodies for about $5 grand, and that's super cheap when it comes to wedding. You're not wanting to spend a ton of money on gear. You're wanting to really just get tools to make great wedding films, and I think Canon's price point on these cameras allow you to do that. So those are the 3 reasons why I switched to the Canon ecosystem: the autofocus, the color science, and just the price of the EOS R is just made it a great and smooth switch over for me, because I was able to sell all my other Panasonic equipment, get 3 bodies, a ton of lenses, and I am super happy with the quality. As you can see from my past YouTube videos, those were all shot on the Canon EOS R. I think the last 3 or 4 weddings I did and the quality hasn't changed. So I was able to get a cheaper setup, more lens options for a lower price when I was able to sell everything else that I had. So I mean, they're just great tools to have. I mean, they're pretty good in low light as well. Not as good as the S1 was, but I think I can get a usable image at 6400, which I never go above because I always light my reception. So low light wasn't a huge deal breaker for me and why I wanted to buy the camera. I felt like everything was just a smooth transition, and I wanted to try Canon out, and I'm honestly in love with the Canon. I'm gonna be sticking with this camera for a while. I do not promise that because, as you may know, the Canon R5 is soon to come out. No one knows what the price is of that, but it's tricky because the specs on that camera may last for the next few years. So I think I can see myself getting that camera, just one. I would just get that camera and I would pair it with one of these. And that means I would sell one body, sell some lenses. Hopefully I only have to come out of pocket a couple thousand. But what I can do with that camera, shooting 8K up to 30 frames per second, 6K up to, what is it, 60 frames a second, 120, something like that. The specs on it are ridiculous, and they're supposed to have in-body stabilization. I think Canon Light RAW is on there. The camera's gonna be pretty much sick is what I'm trying to say. So I'm excited to get back into the wedding season. I have 2 weddings to film in June, so I can be able to post those. I'm hoping to do a behind the scenes on one of them, so I'll bring that to you guys as well. But that's gonna do it for this. Those were the 3 reasons why I switched over to the Canon Eos R, and stay tuned for the next video because you guys are gonna like it. So until then, we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.